What he just said was plain stupid. As Paul Pierce said, the Oklahoma City Thunder need to trade Chet Holmgren, all right, rising star, and I think he has top 10 potential in the league, for Kevin Durant. Are you kidding me? Paul Pierce, of all people, decided to say, look, this is what the Thunder need to do. I know I've said some outlandish things about trades like, oh, let's go get Cam Johnson. I know this is going to happen, blah, blah, blah. Recently, Bobby Portis. I know I've said some pretty crazy things, suggesting some trades, and I get why you guys get upset about this. But suggesting to trade Chet Holmgren for Kevin Durant? Are you kidding me? I would never say that in my own mind. That is just an absurd thing to put out there. In a million years, that would never happen. But yet Paul Pierce, who is this great basketball player, who thinks he's a top 10 player all time, when newsflash, you aren't even top 25. All right? He says that the Oklahoma City Thunder need to do this. Just quite absurd in my mind. So we're going to break down the comparison and stats, and those don't always tell the full story, but we'll do that comparison between the two players and what I personally think, as always. And I think if you guys can catch on early on, I am not happy that he suggests this whatsoever, as this is one of the most idiotic trade scenarios I've ever seen. It's right up there with someone suggesting the Thunder need to trade for Joel Embiid or Giannis Antetokounmpo, all right? That's how, the level of idiocracy this trade seems to me. Before we get into all of that, though, we're at 2,626 subscribers. That was kind of hard for me to read looking at this as well because, just numbers right back in there of each other. But trying to reach 3,000 here, also 10,000 for before 2026. I think we can hit 3,000 before the end of February. I think that's a pretty easy goal for us to hit. So as always, if you enjoyed the content that we're putting out and you want to support, or you come back on a regular basis and you aren't subscribed yet, why not? You're already coming back. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button for me. It's the best way to support. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into talking about what Paul Pierce had to say. All right. And it's idiotic. All right. In no one's right mind should they be suggesting trading away a 21-year-old player for someone that's almost 37. In no one's right mind, all right? I get it, Kevin Durant's having a good season. He's an all-star this year, no doubt about that at all. Could even be an all-NBA player. But the fact of the matter is, he's not going to be that same player on the Thunder. Let alone, I don't think Presti or the fan base would take him back. I don't think they would. All right, it just wouldn't be a good fit whatsoever when you look at personality, his play style. I'd say play style. Offensively, he could fit in. Defensively, can he do what what Chet does? No, not even close. All right, but this is what Paul Pierce had to say right here. All right, listen, they balling without Chet, so now you trade him for KD. KD's shown me he can play with anybody. He can fit on any team. Like he ain't Braun, where you got to change your whole blank. As always, such a great role model for kids, Paul Pierce, for Braun. KD can plug and play wherever he goes. Wherever he goes, all right? Let's get proper grammar. Let's talk right first, okay? It just makes no sense. It makes no sense. If they're doing this well without Chet, then imagine how good they're going to be with him. Use your mind a little bit, Paul. All right, you may have been called the truth, but the truth of the matter is, just because you played basketball, you played in the NBA, does not mean you can go out there and be an analytic, be some stat nerd out there and be like, look, the Thunder need to do this. No, that's not the case, all right? That's the truth. Learn it because that's your nickname. You better learn the truth quick because Kevin Durant, all right, and Chet Holmgren, they are not the same player. Sure, Kevin Durant offensively could fit into the Oklahoma City Thunder system. Defensively, there's a lot of questions surrounding him. There are a ton of questions surrounding him, and I get it, the comparisons between the two, as they're very similar players. All right, I see a lot of KD's game in Chet. I truly do. But Chet has the potential to be just as good as KD. He does. I think he has potential in 4 years to be a top 10 player in the league, and then in 6 years, potentially a top 5 player in the league. He has that skill set. He has that mindset to reach that level of superstar status in the league. But, let's go ahead and look at the statistics then. All right, let's go ahead, look at the statistics. First, for Kevin Durant, and I get it. He's having a great season. 27 points a game, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, block a game, almost a steal a game, but 3 turnovers, 2 fouls a game. He's shooting it quite well, 52% from the field, 39% from 3. He's 6'11 tall, but he's 36 years old. He's almost 37. He has 2 years left, then he's retiring, okay? 45% on corner threes, 85% of his threes are assisted, 30% of all his shots are three-pointers. And I get it. Like I said, I truly get it. All right, he is a superstar. He is. He could go down as a top 25 player all time, and he might already be that. He might already be a top 25 player all time. But you'd have him for maybe a year or two, maybe, and then he retires, trade away Chet for nothing then. Maybe a ring, all right? I like the Thunder's odd when Chet comes back instead of trading him for KD. I get it. They're balling without him. Just imagine how good they're going to be once he's back. Imagine that. They are 32-2 when one of Chet or Hartenstein plays. Imagine when he's playing with Hartenstein. Imagine that. Chet is an impactful player. He was having an all-star caliber season before he got injured against the Golden State Warriors. And we can go ahead and look at the stats right now as well to prove that he was having that level of a season, all right? He's not averaging as many points per game, but that's also because he got injured early on in that game. And when you play with guys like Shai and Dub, you're going to average less points. It's the same with KD. If he came over to Oklahoma City, he'd probably average 22 points a game. But Chet's averaging 9 rebounds a game, 2 assists, 2.5 blocks, almost up to 3 right there. Almost a steal a game, less turnovers, same amount of fouls, shooting almost the same splits as well, 50% from the field, 38% from 3. He's 7'1", 22 years old. So I was off on his age a little bit. He's about to be 23, but still a 13-year age gap right there. 13 years. 42% on corner threes, all of his shots are, all of his threes are assisted, and 33% of his shots are threes. He is, he has potential to be just as good as KD, if not better. So why would Oklahoma City ever trade Chet Holmgren? Paul Pierce, I don't know what he was smoking, what he was on, but he needs to get off that. He needs to get off it because, Chet Holmgren, he is one of the future pieces for the Oklahoma City Thunder for years to come. That Chet and Shai connection is going to feed for generations. It's going to be very similar to what we saw with Russ and KD. All right, we're going to see that very similarly. Same with Jalen Williams on the team. That, three-punch combo between those three guys, you have Chet who can do everything. Shai who's a mid-range demon, and Dub who's just angry all the time, attacking the rim. Even, his dribble moves are angry. He dribbles the ball like it, like stole $20 from him. Like, he just plays with a bunch of aggression. That's why this team works. If you trade away Chet for KD, I don't even think the Oklahoma City Thunder win a ring. I think that's the trade that messes up chemistry right there. Trading away one of the 3 core pieces right there. Then KD retires in 2 years. All right. I give him 2 more years at the maximum in the league. Then he's gone. All right. And it's a crazy thing to say because he was our childhood. Him, Steph, LeBron, all those guys. But they all have like 2 years left and then they're done. Truly, I'm just telling the truth right here about the guys. They have 2 years left and they're done. So why would you trade Chet, who has 10 plus years left in the league, for someone that, might even retire after next season? You got to keep that in mind when you're making these proposals. Oh, you can plug and play in there. Look how good they're doing without Chet. Then imagine how good they're going to be once he's back. All right. They were on pace for an insane season if he stayed healthy. And it was a freak accident that got him injured. Don't be like, oh, it's because he's skinny he got injured. No, it was a freak accident. It's one of those medical things where it's like, look, there's just nothing protecting you there unless you're morbidly obese. That's truly the fact of the matter. All right. There was the same thing with his, ankle injury when he originally got drafted. The court was wet. They still had them play. All right. He slipped on a wet court. All right, he's not injury prone. These are just freak accidents that don't happen to anyone because of bad circumstances. All right, he's not just someone that's constantly getting injured. Those were his first injuries of his, basketball career. So keep that in mind, making these trades. All right, I still am going to push for like trading a Kenrich Williams and Ousmane Dieng for Bobby Portis, as I think that would help the Thunder out a ton. As Bobby Portis is playing well, and I think he can bring more impact than Kenrich Williams or Ousmane Dieng in the playoffs. But one of these trades between 2 team superstars, you are not doing. No, in no world. All right. I hope you guys can agree with me on this because that's all I got for this. Let me know what you guys personally think about Paul Pierce saying this because I just think he's an idiot. All right. Just because you play doesn't mean you can talk ball. That's simple. That's all I got for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.